Hello there. It's April the 19th, 2022, and I'm back in Jedburgh. Third time lucky, hopefully. Time to go to the castle, and welcome to another vlog. Restrictions may have just finished in regards to wearing masks as a legal requirement, but I'm still doing it while indoors, just to be safe. Bit of a story for Jedburgh Castle Jail. First time I was up here was for Jedburgh Abbey back in April in 2021. Shut because of COVID. Came back up in August thinking, yeah, I've got it booked all sorted. Came up, wedding, booked the whole thing out. Nobody told me the booking system's not that good. So it was kind of fingers crossed getting here today. Have got in. Finally I'll be able to do the jail. Don't worry, it's not the only place I'm going to Jedburgh. I'm not going all this way from Central Scotland to the borders just to go to one place. I will be going for somewhere else as well. Probably stop off at Scots View again as well, as that seems to be the background you see on any borders vlog at the moment at the end title card. But let's go and explore. Let's have a look and see what the museum holds. Here we go. Let's get some answers here. If someone was homeless but fit for work in 1850s, do you think that the local parish would give them some money to help them get by? They'd be treated as a vagrant and put in prison? Or they'd put a list of unemployed people and help to find a home? 1850s, I would say it's as a vagrant and put in prison. Yes. What do you think was the minimum age for being in a prison in the 1850s? Newborn babies, 8 years old, 16 years old. Well, I know it's not 16 because there's instances of kids as young as 9, so I think it's 8. Mothers in prison with babies can keep their babies with them until 12 months old. Children of any age, some as young as 8 recorded could be imprisoned. It was not until the Children's Act of 1908 that children under 14 years could no longer be sent to prison. Interesting. When Jedburgh Jail was built, do you think the prisoners thought it was hard and a frightening place to be sent? Maybe. Maybe not. Might be better than being on the streets. At the time, prison was not so much thought as a prison itself, more as a place to wait until the sentence of banishment carried out. So actually might be better living conditions than what they had. And here is the lady. There's an association with this place. Marie, Queen of Scots. Mary, most English people. She has a house here, which I might visit in another vlog. I don't very much that's what made it, what beheaded her and Fotheringay in 1587, but I suppose that's a representation. Random acts otherwise. She was quite a tall lady. I mean, this is eye height, and she's still slightly taller. So this is obviously a waxwork model of Mary, but she was quite tall. She was about 5'10". And this is me. This is at eye height with me, and as you can see, if I do pre-eye height, I'm actually only seeing her neck. So she was quite a tall lady overall. On to the Bridewell, a house of correction. The condemned cell. I think it might be a second, yes there is, the second set of stairs up there, so this was obviously a bit lower in ceiling. Probably the ceiling was about there. If you look up, obviously you're going up to the second level. A mort safe to stop grave robbers nicking it. A bit more difficult, I suppose. You've got a coffin there, and then you've got something on top of something like that, metal cage trying to get into it. Basic bed, basic toilet facilities. Not bad light really. But these are all enclosed rooms, and kids and children will be separated from the parents. This is more like a discipline thing for petty crimes as a deterrent. It's really funny how they don't seem to think that being poor could make a person want to be a bit more unworthy and more of a vagrant, and they didn't think about that for a long time. It wasn't until the 19th century they thought about prison reform and the link between unemployment and poor working conditions and poor housing conditions and people's way of life. I suppose nowadays there is still that suggestion of the link between those who are poor and work for their money and those who are poor and do nothing. It's a different lens now. But nowadays you wouldn't put people who scrape off benefits, who don't need benefits, into a place like this. They'd be seen as inhumane, but the problem's still there. You can't deny that. More of the same. Nothing in this room. Empty. Imagine having that shot on you. So the bridewell was supposed to be a short-term thing for vagrants, or people they class as vagrants. Wasn't really a distinction between the reasons why you were poor and the actions you took as you're poor. That was it was horrible. This is a kind of late Georgian Victorian jail, effectively, and it's amazing to think that some of the reforms they had were still not adequate enough by our standards by the end of its time, but it closed because of dampness, and the conditions were unsatisfactory to prison inspectors, and quite understandable too. Not certainly something I'd want to be involved in regards to getting involved with these sort of cases, and the number of petty cases must have come across the judge's desk or the magistrate's desk is unbelievable. There's an instance of a child in there who got in there for a few days at 9 and then was in there for a little bit further and ended up being in jail at 10. And there's there was a prison built in Perth which most of the prisoners of longer term of a year went to, and in 1842 onwards. So the needs of this jail or this correction centre behind me effectively kind of became less and less sustainable as time went on. Pictures of Jedburgh in the 60s, full colour as well. Very recognisable. High Street, Marketplace, Castle Gate. Handball. The River Jed. Jedburgh Station, which now has a petrol station on it. Fire marks, I've heard of them before. So basically it wasn't just one fire brigade, it was multiple companies. And if your builder was on fire, that particular company was the only one insured to actually put your fire out. So if there was a fire next door and it was of a different company, they wouldn't put the fire out in your property, they'd only put the fire out in the property they're insured for. Very silly system. Of course we know this man. Quite a few videos on him. So good for the time. Without satellites you don't realise how good the maps were. Brian May designed this one, eh? Interesting. Quick view through. Don't really do it on camera, but I'm going to have a look. There we are, Jedburgh Castle and Jail. That was worth the wait a little bit. It's more modern castle. I suppose castle is the phrase of a modern townhouse, you know, a modern residence of the time. Castle as in, you know, it was foreboding. It was a prison. You are enclosed in walls, but I don't know if it's the true sense of the word castle, but it's interesting enough, all the prison conditions and everything else, and yeah, it's a development of what you see in Inverary. Inverary a little bit earlier in some of its condition. This is a kind of late Georgian Victorian prison, and the conditions are quite terrible, and the distinction described it quite a bit already in the video. But yeah, certainly worth going at. It's free admission. You do have to book, and it is only summer times that they are open, so you need to keep that in mind. They're only open during the April to October. But it is free. You do book. They do ask for donations. I made sure I put a donation in when I booked my ticket. It would be recommended to do that. If you don't do it at the time of booking, you can do it. There's a contactless point for putting donation. You can always put cash in as well if you're old-fashioned. But that's it for now. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and share it with the hashtag teamstructor. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you know when a new video comes out if you like the channel as a whole. And I've done more Jedburgh videos. I've done the Abbey, which is up there, and Mary Queen of Scots House is coming soon as well. If it's not out already, it just depends what order I put these in. But that'll be up in the eye when it's ready as well. But until next time, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you later.